Welcome to Threes and TDs. Today we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers like we do every day or multiple times a week, and what's going on with the Panthers as they prepare for the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. Let's get to the news of it. Dave Canales is calling plays again. We covered that yesterday. I don't want to talk about it. We all know how I feel about that. But it looks like none of the starters are really going to be playing. Jalen Coker is going to be playing. He should be a starter, but whatever. I think Jalen Coker has been our best wide receiver, maybe outside of Tedero McMillan, and there's a real argument to be made that he's been better than Tedero McMillan. But I think they want him coming out. Like they don't. Maybe if like in 3 wide receiver sets, he'll be that third guy. But I still think they like Adam Thielen a lot. So it's a good problem to have. Look, I've said it from the start. Wide receiver depth and having this much wide receiver depth is something we have never had. We have never had this much wide receiver depth. So it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have that we have this much depth at wide receiver. With that being said, who's wide receiver 2? If you got Tedero McMillan to be your wide receiver 1, and if Jalen Coker is making a play for a wide receiver 2, even though Canales doesn't think that right now, who's your 2? Is it Xavier Legette? Who's your 3? Is it Adam Thielen? Who's your 4? Is that Jalen Coker? So like there's just a lot of guys in there that are going to make a play for being here. There's going to be a lot of guys that make a play. So we'll see. Talking about Adam Thielen. Today, this morning, all kinds of reports coming out of the Minnesota Vikings camp saying that the Vikings are in the market for a veteran wide receiver. Well, isn't that surprising? Because we have Adam Thielen, who was a huge part of the Vikings organization for a lot of years. So a lot of Panthers fans were saying, hey, send Adam. I'm not there yet. I don't actually... And look, maybe this opinion is different than a lot of the opinions of the people here, but like I don't actually think Adam should be traded. I think that Jared, there's a guy called Jared on Panthers Twitter, and he was talking essentially, Jared Feinberg, I think that's his last name. And he was saying that the way the Panthers view Adam Thielen is that they view Adam Thielen as someone that is a security blanket for Bryce Young. And I know he's old. I know he's a veteran. But to me, this is my perspective. If your wide receiver room is already a deep room, if that wide receiver room is already a room that is locked in, that is deep, that is very, very good, what are you going to get for Adam? Like, what are you going to get for Adam? You think you're going to get a 3rd for Adam? You're not. You think you're going to get a 2nd for Adam Thielen? You're not. Who are we dealing with here? We're dealing with a front office in Minnesota that is considered one of the best front offices and well-run organizations in all of the NFL. They're not going to get fleeced. This isn't the Cowboys and Jonathan Mingo. They're not going to send you a 2nd for Adam. They're not going to send you a 3rd for Adam. And I actually think, contrary to popular belief, I think that Adam Thielen brings more to your team than just a 3rd rounder. So I personally don't think that Adam should be part of they should ship Adam out. Unless they get like a 2nd. But even then, it's going to be like a 2nd at the bottom of the 2nd round because, they're just a very well-run organization. So those are my thoughts on the Adam Thielen stuff. I really don't think that we need to be shipping out Adam at this point in his career. I think he was a security blanket for Bryce. So yeah, moving on to tomorrow. Here's what I want to see. I just want to see the Panthers be competitive. It's the 3rd preseason game. None of our starters are playing. A lot of these, jokes aside, a lot of these guys are playing for their lives. The way that they play in this game is going to really say a lot about whether they're staying on the team or not. I want to, I just want to see what happens. Is Cam Johnson going to stay on the team? The D tackle out of Florida. There's been a lot of reports that have essentially said that, Cam hasn't had a great camp. Would they really spend a 4th or 5th rounder? I need to look. Would they really spend a 4th or a 5th rounder and then cut him and not give him a chance? Like, I don't know. I don't know that that's going to happen. How does Bryce Perkins play? Is Bryce Perkins, 2 Bryces in the quarterback room? Who would have thought that? But is Bryce going to be the 3rd quarterback? Is he going to be ahead of Plummer? Is he going to be the number 2 wide receiver? I mean, Andy Dalton has looked terrible. Let's just call it what it is. Andy Dalton has looked absolutely terrible. So, I don't know. Those are some of my thoughts. What else do I want to see? I want to see Jalen Coker continue to ball out tomorrow. He's played well against the ones. He should feast against the Steelers' 2nd or 3rd unit. So I want more from Jalen. Jalen is going to be good. He's just going to be good. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to give you all a video as we head for tomorrow, what I want to see. I don't really care about the wins and losses for preseason. I just want a team that is competitive, and it's the last game before the start of the season in a couple weeks. So we're right around the corner. And yeah, thank you all for all your support. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see y'all in the next one.